Hello, everybody. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, where I'll be teaching ukulele tonight. And in conjunction with Mead Library, we're back for another lesson this evening, and this is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Tonight's class is dedicated to finger picking on the ukulele, and I consider this to be my introductory class. So if you have a lot of experience finger picking, this may be a little easy for you. If you don't, or you'd like to gain some skills or brush up, this is going to be the right place for you to be. And as always, tonight, we do appreciate hearing from you. Let us know where you're checking in from around the country, North America, and just say hi from, Port Orange. Hello from, New York City, wherever you're coming from. We appreciate hearing from you. I also appreciate knowing that the sound is coming through good, that I'm nice and clear, and that you can hear me. Nothing's overdriving, and it's not too soft or not too loud. So you can post that as well, and we'll tweak it as we go. Um, the music for tonight, like many of them, is available from the Sheboygan Ukulele Club Google Drive, and that was posted both in the discussion section of the Mead Public Library's event listing on their Facebook page, as well as if you go to Lil Rev, go to my website, lilrev.com, scroll down, click on the tab that says Sheboygan U Club, and there you'll see a little a Google Docs section for finger picking for ukulele tonight. And they're about 7 or 8 pages. And so it's not too late for you to go and do that if you don't have them. And that you'll find this very helpful. Going into the future, I'll keep these up for about a week, and then they're going to start to come down and make room for other stuff. Okay? So finger picking on the ukulele is a really wonderful thing. It's an awesome way to play. It's soothing. It sounds beautiful, whether you're playing an instrumental piece or you are accompanying yourself in a song. Now, my approach to teaching fingerstyle is very different from other people. A lot of people like to just simplify things, but start with all the rudiments thrown in right away. Where you're doing a pattern, you have thirds and sixths, you have partial chords, you've got alternating thumb, arpeggiation happening. There's all these different things. I like to break all of these things down into their most basic components and focus this lesson on patterns. Once you have really spent a lot of time, and a lot of time I mean weeks and months, playing these patterns, they become like muscle memory. And taking on an instrumental arrangement of John King's or the late John Kavanagh or Rob McKillop or anything that comes out that you can find out there that you want to work out of, following something on YouTube, wherever your sources might be. Okay, you're more prepared for that, and so I take a very methodical approach in that we're going to start with a basic pattern called inside outside tonight, and then we're going to look at another common element of playing fingerstyle, the pinch, how to do that. We'll talk about alternating the thumb back and forth between a variety of different strings. And then lastly, we'll explore arpeggiation or using the thumb and 3 fingers. Okay? So before we begin here, typically what you're going to see in fingerstyle is that the pinky is going to root on the soundboard. Now, sometimes people will take 2 fingers. So you see how I have my pinky and my ring finger resting on the soundboard? You can either do that or you can just keep your pinky on there. But typically most people are going to rest some sort of a finger on there, okay? One of those 2 or both, all right, on the soundboard. Now, when we're strumming and we're playing ukulele like we normally do, we stay away from the sound hole. We strum over the fretboard. But when we're finger picking, we like to stay over the sound hole a little bit more. You can inch up to the lower bout of the fretboard. That's okay as well, okay? And so the very first piece of music we're going to look at tonight is from the Google Drive, and it's the pattern of inside, outside. We're going to do this for a couple of songs now till this beat starts to feel real natural. If time permits tonight, I'll teach you outside, inside as well. But this first pattern is called inside, outside. And the reason why is because we're going to pluck the 2 inner strings, then the 2 outer strings. Okay, so the thumb will pluck the C string, all right? And then the first finger, index finger, will pluck the E string. So we got inside, okay? Now we're not playing, we're not even looking at any of the music just yet. We're just playing without any chords or anything. We're just playing with open strings, okay? So if you take your thumb and you pluck that C string, pluck down, and then pluck up with the pad of your index finger, that'll say inside. Inside. Good. Now your thumb's going to come up and it's going to pluck the G string. Good. That'll be out. And then finally, the middle finger will pluck the A string. So you got this. You got inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Try that once on your own. See how that feels. The 2 inner strings, then the 2 outer strings. Okay, C to E, G to A. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. See how you can just sit there in your lazy boy recliner and just kick back and do this pattern? It's almost meditative. Inside, outside, inside, outside. You are getting very sleepy. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Or slow it down even more if that's too hard for you. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Now you're going to do that so repetitively that it becomes muscle memory after a couple weeks. Down, up, thumb, thumb, inside, outside. So again, thumb comes down on the C string, index finger comes up on the E string, thumb comes down on the G string, middle finger comes up on the A string. Okay, one more time, here we go. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and inside, outside, inside, outside. Good, you're doing good. Some of you have never done this before, and I applaud you for trying. Repetition is king or queen. Okay, good. Now, once you've done that a lot, like I often say in my classes, and some of you are getting used to hearing me say this now, okay, is the benefit of little train that could, okay? This is my favorite analogy. I use it in everything I teach. And the reason why is because anytime you learn something new, you want to train yourself to deal with a variety of different tempos, okay? So if you play a piece and it's slow, then you got that. I mean, you got that. But if it's medium or fast, a lot of people are going to crash and burn because they haven't trained their fingers to speed up when it comes to finger style, okay? So let me show you what I mean by that now, all right? So you got this. You start out slow, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, and then you start to speed it up. Now obviously no one's going to do that right away, or it's going to get that fast. But then you're going to slow it down too. And that will teach you to play a picking pattern at a variety of different tempos. Now, inherent in this pattern is the makings of many an arrangement to a fingerstyle tune. Or, with my approach, taking patterns like this and learning to accompany your voice by following a chord change, the pattern remains the same no matter what chords you play. You keep going inside 2 inner strings, 2 outer strings. It doesn't matter what chords you'd play, it would just, the pattern would not change. And that's a great way to begin learning how to do fingerstyle. Let me show you what I mean now, because we're about to begin using the music tonight. Okay? So if I'm going to play C, F, and G 7th, and I presume you know some basic chords. Now if I go to F chord, I keep playing the same pattern. G7, same pattern. I just keep doing inside, outside, inside, outside. And so this is like patting your head and rubbing your tummy, right? It seems really easy when you first just go. But then when you add chords, and you're changing chords, a lot of people are going to stumble right there. But if you just keep thinking, I keep the pattern the same, I don't change, inside, outside, inside, then it makes it much easier. And you start to get used to that, and you could play any chord progression. And the goal here is this. Open up your songbooks, your daily ukuleles, find some songs that aren't so fast, maybe some Simon and Garfunkel, or, some slow to medium tempo Beatles song that you like to sing. And just take that inside-outside pattern, but play the chords that are required for the song and see if it would sound good to accompany yourself finger picking instead of strumming. This is the first step to becoming a good fingerstyle player through my approach, okay? And this is what I would call Lil Rev's pattern picking, pattern playing towards fingerstyle proficiency, right? Okay, these are the tools to get to that place, all right? And so now we're going to begin, okay? If you printed out the music, you'll have a copy of Skip to My Lou in front of you. And Skip to My Lou, I wrote out in G, and there's just 2 chords to this song, so if you don't have the music, it's okay. It's G and D 7th. So let's everyone make a G chord now. And again, I trust that you know how to make a G chord. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm presuming that, okay? You see my pinky is resting on the soundboard, okay? My other fingers are resting over the strings. And I'm going to do inside-outside with a G chord now. And when I do that, I pluck the D note to the G note, the 2 inner strings. And then my thumb comes up, I hit the G string open. And then my middle finger plucks the B note. Okay, that's all the notes in the chord. Okay, so we go inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Try it. Let me slow it down a little bit. Try that. There you go. Hello to all you in Winnipeg tonight. Thank you for joining us. Hello to all my friends in Tampa. Thank you for joining us. And not far from my home, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I'm glad you're with us tonight. Okay, so you see what's happening? I could do this all day. Now, here's a test for you. Later on when the lesson's over, I want you to play a pattern and just stay on one chord and then talk to your partner. Or call up a friend and say, hey, I need you for an experiment. And see if you can play the pattern and talk at the same time. Why? Guess why? Because eventually not only are you going to be playing the pattern and changing chords, but you're going to be singing too. Okay? This is so much better than crossword puzzles, trust me, okay? This is like the real brain activity that we need, all right? Left and right together. So now let's make that D7th chord. Now you could make it either as a bar chord or as I have written, as an open D7th shape, okay? That's one finger on the 2nd fret G string, one finger 2nd fret E string, okay? That's an A note and an F sharp note, okay? So that's strummed open, makes a D7 chord. Now, try inside, outside with that, and then we'll be ready to do the song. Here we go. Just the D7 shape. The 2 inner strings, down on the C, up on the E, okay? And then down on the G string, up on the A string. Ready? Here we go. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, and come on, give it a shot. You got it. Once the fingers get used to doing this, we taught it to my daughter the other day, and it's so much fun. She just, taking off with this. Now, what's your tempo? I guess that's a question. Are you at home thinking this is maybe too fast? So then you need to be going. If you're thinking this is too slow, then you need to be going. So you'll find that happy place once this lesson's over, okay? And you can do things fast or slow, all right? Then you can start working on classical gas, okay? Or you can start working on some cool piece like Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, or something that would naturally have finger picking, or a blackbird singing in the dead of the night, okay? Some of that kind of stuff, right? So here we go. Let's do Skip to My Lou and put all this together that we've been talking about and working on tonight. We're going to play a G and a D7. I'm going to sing, and we're going to keep that pattern going, inside, outside. It's an all-time favorite pattern. All the fingerstyle players know it, and it's a lot of fun, okay? So here we go. Ready? Real slowly. Inside, outside. We might even slow it down just a hair. There we go. Here we go now. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? G, lost my partner, what'll I do? Skip to Maloo, my darling. See how that works? You change chords, but you don't change the pattern. Inside, outside, inside, out. It's one small step for mankind and womankind. Here we go. Do it again. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? Skip to Maloo, my darling. Good job. Remember, you could slow it down if you need to, or you can speed it up. Okay, here we go now. Now I'm going to get away from what's on the written page. Same chords, same pattern, but I'm going to sing some other verses. Here we go. Flies in the fruit jar, 2 by 2. Flies in the fruit jar, shoo, fly, shoo. Flies in the fruit jar, shoo, fly, shoo. Skip to Maloo, my darling. Here's a verse, I don't know if I've ever really liked this verse. It goes like this. I'll get another one prettier than you. I'll get another one prettier than you. I'll get another one prettier than you. Skip to Maloo, my darling. Let's go back to the top. And let's do Skip to My Lou. Sing it now. Can you finger pick, change chords, and sing at the same time? Let's try it. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Lost my partner, what'll I do? Good. Lost my partner, what'll I do? Skip to my darling. That's it, you got it. Now don't forget what I said. Little train that could. If you want to become proficient and be able to play at a variety of different tempos with any pattern, practice speeding up and slowing down. Watch. Good job, that's it, okay? Now there's another pattern on this page, but we'll wait till a little later in the class if time permits. Good, okay? Excellent, that was a good start, okay? And now we're gonna try another song or two with Inside Outside and see how it feels. So I'd like you to change in your music here, and let's look at the Crawdad song. Now this is going to be a little different because we're going to go from a simple 2-chord song to a song that's got 4 chords, okay? Now I'm just presuming that you know some basic chords here tonight. If you're still learning chords, that's really your first hurdle that you got to get beyond, right? Being able to change chord without breaking your rhythm, let alone finger picking and singing and all this other stuff. But so let's look at the Crawdad song and talk about, it's the same pattern, inside, outside. But what are the chords? We'll start out with the G chord, and then when it changes, we'll go to a D7 chord, okay? Just like you just did on Skip to My Loose. This is building on what we just did, all right? But we're gonna add a G7 chord, all right? And we're gonna add a C chord, okay? Now, if you don't play the G7th chord and you stay on the G, that's fine too. Sometimes I do that, okay? You don't have to play the G7, it sounds good, but you could just do 3 chords, G, C, and D7, okay? So let's try it again. This is the same approach. I'm gonna pick the pattern and I'm gonna try to sing and play the song. And this is exactly what I'd like all of you to do with the music you have available to you at home or online or wherever you're getting song sources from, okay? I like the Daily Ukulele and the Leap Year version and things like that. There's a lot of good songs in there, but there's a lot of good places to find this music, okay? Find a good songbook. My publisher is Hal Leonard, and they got a tremendous amount of stuff available in their catalog if you're looking for a variety of songbooks, including the Daily Ukulele. All right, so here we go, okay? Yonder come a man with a sack on his back, the Crawdad song. This is gonna step it up a little bit now, because more chords. Here we go. Inside, outside, 2 inner strings, 2 outer strings. Inside, outside, inside. Yep, I slowed it down. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. All right, here we go now. I put the pattern on the page, down at the bottom of the page. And it's going to show you when you're on a G chord, you're going to play exactly what I'm doing. When you're on a D7th chord, you're going to make a D7th chord, but keep those 2 inner strings and those 2 outer strings. So remember, thumb, index, thumb, middle. Thumb, index, thumb, middle on the D7th and all the other chords. And then back to G, G7th, C, the pattern stays the same. Have I been repetitive enough? Okay, good. That's just a little short walkthrough. Now we're really ready to do the song, okay? I want to make sure you had just a little warm up there. Here we go. Yonder come a man with sack on his back now, honey, honey. Yonder come a man with sack on his back now, babe, babe, G. Yonder come a man with a sack on his back, packing all the crawdads he could pack, honey, sugar baby mine. Let's do that verse again. Yonder come a man with sack on his back now, honey. Yonder come a man with sack on his back now, babe, babe. Yonder come a man with a sack on his back, packing all the crawdads he could pack, honey, sugar baby mine. Now, occasionally you're going to find some songs that really sound good with the pattern you choose. There are a lot of patterns in fingerstyle. Okay? And it's that sort of experimentation on your behalf that will lead you to improve and be more proficient at accompanying songs and playing fingerstyle arrangements of instrumental music. No one's going to come up to you after playing the Crawdad song with an inside-outside pattern and say, "Wow, that just blew me away. You were incredible." Okay? But it will serve to be a lesson as you practice and grow, that you could keep a pattern going and accompany a song. It's a very basic approach to fingerstyle, and I hope that you appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Next verse, you get a line and I'll get a pole. You get a line, I'll get a pole now, honey, honey. You get a line, I'll get a pole now, babe, babe. You get a line, I'll get a pole. We'll go down to that crawdad hole, honey, sugar baby mine. Good. Is this too fast? Is it too slow? Well, you can always watch it again as you work up to it. Go back to the Mead page and you'll find it there, okay? What you gonna do when the lake runs dry? What you gonna do when the lake runs dry now, honey? Honey, you're doing it. What you gonna do when the lake runs dry now, babe? All right. What you gonna do when the lake runs dry? Sit on the bank and watch a crawdad die, honey, sugar baby mine. Last time. This is your big chance, okay? You get a line and I'll get a pole now, honey, honey. You get a line, I get a pole now, babe, babe. You get a line and I'll get a pole. We'll go fishing that crawdad hole, honey, sugar baby mine. Good. Excellent. Let's just pause for a minute and give our fingers a rest, okay? All these things where you're picking out a pattern as you're bringing out the notes in the chord, eventually arpeggiating them, pinching the strings, adding all kinds of different things, single notes, little, melodic runs, partial chords, double stops, thirds and sixths. All kinds of cool stuff that become part of a fingerstyle arrangement. And that's when it really starts to become exciting. All right. So there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do. I'm often sitting there, and I'll think of some song and I'll be like, "Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave us all alone? Oh, you could take me high. Oh, I'm on fire." And I'll be like, "Whoa, Quizno, that sounds incredible. Like that really works for that song." And when you have those aha moments, it's just really exciting because you practice the patterns and you found a pattern that works great with a song. And at some point you're going to be using these techniques that come into play with the patterns to actually play a full-fledged fingerstyle arrangement of a melody, whether that's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or Stairway to Heaven. You're going to be using these skills that you're building, alternating your thumb, pattern picking using multiple fingers, and all this kind of stuff, okay? Now, in the course of my hour-long class, I always make one plug, but I don't want to hit anybody over the head. Everybody sees my sign, and these classes are free. There's no obligation whatsoever, thanks to a Mead Public Library sponsoring them and providing a little bit of seed money for me to take the time and the energy to do this. Your tips are very much appreciated and makes a difference. Everybody knows by now on Facebook that all of us musicians who have been out on the road, especially a traveling professional clinician such as myself, who had about 15 festivals and 120 shows this year. So a lot of that has disappeared, and you guys have been great. So I plugged that once or twice, a class or a concert, and I thank you so much for anything you contribute. It's very much appreciated, and I'm grateful. Okay, so let's get back to the lesson now, and now we're gonna do another song here. We're gonna do one more with Inside Outside, and I think it's time to move on to some other concepts. All right, so I'd like you to go to a song called "Going to German" now, and this is a jug band song that typically would probably be strummed. I'm going to German, be back some old day. I'm going to German, be back some old day. I'm going to German, be back some old day. Okay, so that's kind of how it's going to sound, except we're going to finger pick it because it's a slow blues. And it works really nice when you start out on these simpler songs. Just tweaking my tuning a little tiny bit here. You all might do the same when you get to finger picking a lot. You want to double check, make sure those strings are still sounding good. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Okay, so now we're going to change keys. And we got an F chord. We got a B flat. Now, if you're a complete beginner with me tonight, those B flat chords start out being a little bit of a finger buster. But you're going to get it, and there'll be no looking back. You're going to get it, okay? When it comes to B flat, the key is where the thumb is in the back of the neck. Where that thumb is, you want to place it right in the middle there, okay? And then we've got a C chord in there, which can be played either like this, okay, standard C, or a B flat moved up to the 3rd fret for all you hot shots. That's called a movable chord form, right? And if you look on the middle of the page, you'll see I tabbed out the pattern. And so if we make an F chord and we continue to follow inside outside, we're going to play the C string and the E string. That's C and an F note, inside. And then our thumb's going to come up, and we're going to pluck the G string, which is fretted to an A. And then our middle finger is going to pluck the A string, which is open. Okay? So you get this. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Try that. I hope you're doing it with me. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Good. Now try it on the B flat. Same thing. Inside, outside. I know you're getting this now. Okay? Here we go. Inside, inside, outside, inside, outside. So again, the thumb plucks the C string, index finger plucks the E string, thumb comes up, hits the G string, middle finger plucks the A string. Okay? So inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, out. That's a much better angle. You guys can really see now. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, out. Hello to my friends in Chicago joining me tonight. I'm so glad you're with me. Columbia, Missouri. Happy to have you with us. Thanks for joining in, studying some fingerstyle with me tonight. Okay, lastly, the C chord. Inside, outside, in. So if you only learn one thing tonight and you get really good at inside, outside, then your hour was well spent. Okay? If you weren't doing this already, or hip to the idea of accompanying songs with a fingerstyle pattern, then your time was well spent. And staying on this one pattern probably has really helped. A lot of you start to get this down. Okay, now let's put it all together. Okay, I'm speeding up a little bit more now. Okay, so here we go. I'm looking at the piece titled Going to German. And this is an old jug band, as I said. Gus Cannon's Jug Stompers. They were stellar, 1920s. They were the ones who originally did Walk Right In, Sit Right Down, and Baby Let Your Mind Roll On. That was the source when the Rooftop Singers copied it, made their own version, and recorded it in the early 60s. So just to put things in perspective of what you're doing here tonight when I grab these old songs that a lot of you don't know. Gus Cannon's Jug Stompers. Go on iTunes and look them up. You'll be blown away. Really cool stuff. Cool old-timey stuff. All right, so here we go. I'm going to give it a shot now. It's going to stay on that F chord for a little bit, then it'll go to the B flat, and then finally the C. So here we go. Going to German, be back some old day. I'm going to German, be back some old day. Going to German, be back some old day. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Should I slow it down a little bit? Let me slow it down just a little bit. Let's start from the top again. Going to German, be back some old day. I'm going to German, be back some old day. Going to German, be back some old day. Yeah, that's it. You got it now. Here we go. Tell me, mama, what more can I do? Tell me, mama, what more can I do? Done all I know now. Can't get along with you. Go away my window. Stop knocking on my door. Go away my window. Stop knocking on my door. Go away my window. Can't use you no more. When you's in trouble, I worked and paid your fine. When you's in trouble, I worked and paid your fine. Now I'm in trouble. You won't pay me no mind. I'm going to German, be back some old day. I'm going to German, be back some old day. Going to German, be back some old day. Yeah, that's it. How'd that feel? Okay. Again, you can experiment with these at different tempos, and if it's too slow, speed it up. You know, if it's too fast, slow it back down again. Okay. All right. So that's going to take us out of inside outside, and now I want to remind you as you're developing, to keep that pinky on the soundboard, or the pinky and the ring finger. Okay. There's a lot of good stuff out there for finger picking, and so go online and search. You can look on Amazon. There's a lot of good books on the market. There's a lot of good finger pickers in the ukulele world. If you can find videos of John King or John Kavanaugh, I consider them to be probably two of my personal favorites. Today, one of my favorite finger pickers is a guy named Daniel Ward, and I really like to hear him play fingerstyle ukulele, and he does a lot of teaching in the Ukulele magazine and such too. Okay, but there's a lot of good fingerstyle players out there, and you can look for them. All right. All right. So now we're going to go on, and I like to, let's see here. I want to move on, and we're going to look at a pinch now. Okay. Now the pinch is a common, it's a common execution in a fingerstyle, a lot of fingerstyle arrangements. And this is when you've got to grab two strings at once, okay, rather than letting each note ring out, okay, or arpeggiating them in the broken chord kind of form. So we're going to make a G chord, and right now I'm looking at Down in the Valley. It says number 4 on the bottom of the page, though these pages are randomly mixed up tonight, okay. Looking at Down the Valley, we have a G and a D7 chord. So it's 2 chords. That makes it very easy. And we're going to do a 1, 2, 3 time signature. So we have pa pa, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And some of these phrases I'm gonna let them breathe a little bit more, just so I can hold them and give you guys more time to play this pattern as you're playing along with me, especially with the Facebook, second and a half delay or so. Okay, so we make that G chord. Now here's how you do the pinch, okay? I'm going to curl my other fingers back so that you can see what I'm doing, okay? And I'm going to use these 2 fingers, the thumb and the middle finger, and I'm going to strike the G string and the A string, okay? And as I do, I almost squeeze them a little tiny bit towards each other, and then I pull away. See if you can do that. Let's do it echo style. I do it, you do it, okay? All right? Okay, I do it, you do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm pinching the G string and the A string together. I'm fretting a G chord. I'm striking a G note and a B note. Okay. Notice as I pull away down here, watch. I'm squeezing them together. Pinching them and pulling away, okay? Okay, so that's the pinch. Now when you add a little bit more to this pattern, we would go pinch, or you could pinch with these 2 fingers. If that feels better. I'm a little more unorthodox about it, and I like to pinch with those 2. Then I come down with the middle on the G string, or on the E string, fretting a G note, and then I pluck up onto the C string, which is a D note. So I get this. Pa, 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 pa. Sorry, Wisconsin's a polka state. Pa, 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 pa. To me, go from me now. That's what the old timers used to say when the accordion would squeeze out in. Okay, everybody ready now? Let's try a D7 shape. Okay, open D7th. Squeeze the 2 outer strings. Pluck the 2 inner strings, starting with the E, then the C. Pinch, pluck. Pinch, pluck. Okay, so you got that, then you got that. E string, C string. Okay, good. Now you're ready to try this. Okay, so we're going to try the G and D7th, all right? Remember, I'm going to hold these phrases a little bit longer now. Down in the valley, valley so low, late in the evening, hear the train blow. Hear the train blow, love. Hear the train blow. Late in the evening, hear the train blow. How's it coming along? Are you getting it? Remember, I'm pinching the 2 outer, then plucking the 2 inner. Let's do the next verse. Write me a letter, send it by mail, send it in care of Birmingham jail. Birmingham jail, love. Birmingham jail. Send it in care of Birmingham jail. Roses love sunshine, violets love dew. Angels in heaven know I love you. Know I love you, dear. Know I love you. Angels in heaven know I love you. That's right, to my wife Jenna, I love you. And I love you all like a ukulele. All right. So how did that feel? Were you able to get that pinch and get the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3? Now I held some of those phrases a little bit longer and let them breathe out a little bit more. Just give it a little more space rather than launching right into some of those verses. But it gives you a little bit of room to try that pinch. And you're going to see that pinch a lot. And it's typical fingerstyle arrangement. You're going to often be grabbing, 2 strings at once. It's pretty darn common, okay? So that gives you a little bit of that kind of practice for that sort of thing, all right? And now I'd like you to turn to the page that says alternating thumb on it. It's got 5 on the bottom of the page, and if you printed it out there. Otherwise, it's going to say alternate thumb 2 and PM lullaby. Alternate thumb 2 and PM lullaby for my buddy John Nicholson's Play Ukulele Today 2 book. Really wonderful book, worth checking out. There's a really nice fingerstyle section in that Hal Leonard book, Play Ukulele Today. It's all different stuff in the book, but he's got a nice fingerstyle section. John is a fellow I wrote fiddle tunes for ukulele with, okay? So we wrote this book together. And John is a world-class fingerstyle ukulele player. Really wonderful guy, okay? So anyways, we will look at the alternating thumb now. And in terms of time, what I want to do with this particular page is I just want to do the alternate thumb exercise. And so think of the great guitarists, Chet Atkins, Merle Travis, Elizabeth Cotton, today Tommy Emmanuel, all these people who are rooted in fingerstyle. You will often see the thumb alternating between 2 strings, and sometimes, as in the case with PM Lullaby, moving across 3 strings. So that thumb is just alternating between strings. What we're going to do is we're going to attempt to get our thumb to alternate between the C string and the G string. And that's got to be your main focus. So when you think about this next lesson, think about my thumb is just moving between, really, its main job is C and G strings, okay? All right, and we're gonna use our thumb, okay? Use our thumb here, get it going. 1 second. All right, so we got C, F, and G. You gotta make note that when you fret that G chord, if you're able to, the exercise is written out with the pinky stretched over to the 4th fret of the G string. Some of you can do this and some of you do not have that dexterity. So then you just got to leave it open, okay? Or you can bar that G chord, okay? You can bar One finger across 2nd fret, one finger on the 3rd fret, there's your G note, and one finger right up here, okay, as your B note, all right? So here we go, all right? Pinky down like that, okay? All right, so remember that when you get to G, because that's going to come up fast, all right? So now we're starting on the C. Okay, you got the thumb and the index finger are going to do all the work. That's what the little P and the I stand for in the PIMA approach. All right, if you're looking at this. P for thumb. I'm not going to recite the Latin for these. And I for index. All right. So here we go. This is what we got. Listen first. Okay. I'm going to stay on each measure a little longer than is written, just so you can hear and watch what's happening. See that thumb is focused on the C string and the G string. And look at that index finger. It just keeps doing the same thing over and over. This is basic alternating thumb as an exercise. Very important to fingerstyle playing. I'll slow it down. Now I'm going to go to the F chord. See how the pattern remains the same? Kind of like what we were doing with inside outside. You keep going C string, E string, G string, C string. So it's almost like inside outside, but we're not hitting that A string. Okay? And then finally when we go to the G, and then the C. So try that with me. C, E string, and then G string, and then C string. So we got come back to that E string, okay? So C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, okay? Good. And then you keep that same pattern going as we change chord. You ready to try this with me? Okay, let's do it very slowly. Here we go. And that would be one time through it. There's a repeat sign there, so you go. Okay, so that would get done repetitively. Drive your neighbors crazy, and as the days warm up here, you know, just play that pattern over and over till you just get it stuck in your head. Okay, once that feels comfortable, you can set yourself up to play that same pattern accompanying some songs. Try a few Hank Williams songs. Try some Bob Dylan songs. See what you can find and just follow the chord flow, but keep that same alternating thumb pattern going, and see if you can't find a song that sounds good with. I'm going to give you guys a song now that is a simple little blues song, okay? And it's called the Sugar Babe Blues. Sugar Babe Blues, traditional old-time blues song. Now I'm going to record this for the archive, and remember, these are also being shared onto YouTube as well. So you'll be able to find these and recycle them and practice as needed. So you'll have lots of resources, okay? And find yourself a good fingerstyle book or a fingerstyle teacher. A lot of these great uke players teach online lessons just like myself, and you can really, you know, start to develop some good skill with this. Okay, so the Sugar Babe Blues. I'm not asking you to play this with me, but if you want to work up towards this after you practice that exercise, then this is what you would be going for, okay? It's exactly what we just did, except you got a song to go with it, okay? And it goes like this, right? Sugar babe, what's wrong with you? Don't do nothing like you used to do. Sugar babe, it's all over now. I'll do that first verse again. What a sweet, pretty little blues song. Sugar babe, what's wrong with you? Don't do nothing like you used to do. Sugar babe, it's all over now. See how I'm doing the alternating thumb? Same pattern as alternate thumb number 2. This will serve you throughout your life as a ukulele player. If you can get this little pattern down, you're going to find it in countless exercises and arrangements, and it stands all by itself to do exactly what we're doing right now. Accompany a song. Why strum all the time? Why not have an alternative to strumming just by finger picking a basic little pattern? And once you got these patterns stuck in your head, you got them for life. You got a friend for life you can always call on. Okay, here we go. All I want my babe to do, make $10 and give me 2. Sugar babe, it's all over now. Could it be slower if you were practicing this at home? You could be like this. Sugar babe, what's wrong with you? Don't do nothing like you used to do. Sugar babe, it's all over now. Last verse. Sugar babe, I love you well. You don't treat me all too swell. Sugar babe, it's all over now. Once you got those basics down, then you can move on to all kinds of other stuff where it becomes even more syncopated. You can play outside of some of these patterns. Right? Get that shake in there. All right, so we're coming up on the top of our hour here, and I would like to have had a little bit more time to do some arpeggios with you, and perhaps this is a whole class unto itself. So for those who are gonna come back and visit at another time and place and want to work on arpeggio, it's another way of playing chords, but in a broken manner, where each note rings out all by itself and is allowed to ring out as you continue on. In this approach, we are going to make an F chord and a C7, and I'm looking at simple gifts, which is page 8. And so the thumb's going to pluck the G string, and we're going to use all of our fingers now. So watch. Practice doing that with any chord and any chord progression. And that's called playing an arpeggio. Any good fingerstyle book is going to teach you about this. Then C7. That's really what I want you to do. Later on, I ask you to accompany the song Simple Gifts. Gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where you ought to be. When we find ourselves in the place that's just right, we will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, bow and to bend, we will not be ashamed to turn, turn. Will be our delight till by turning, turning we come round right. This could be any chords or any chord progression. Once you get that pattern, down with the thumb, up with the index, then E string up with the middle, and finally ring up on the A string. At first, that's going to feel real awkward to use all those fingers like that. But if you've been blessed to have all those fingers, man, you might as well use them. That's how you tell a fellow's worked on the railroad he's missing a few fingers. Don't ask him to play fingerstyle. Okay, that's what we're going to call it quits for tonight. I hope that you all enjoyed a little bit of time working on pattern playing. I really hope to have a book out in the next year with this approach. Videos, patterns, songs, a few exercises, and I haven't as of yet written my own fingerstyle book, but it's high on the top of my list. But speaking of books, I want to just take one more moment of your time tonight, if you just stay with me. I've got a lot of books on the market right now, many of them, as you can all see. And my Ukulele Method Book 1, which has now been digitized and is interactive. This is my best-selling book right here, my Ukulele Method Book 1. I've got a great book on strumming. These would be a purchase through Amazon or halleonard.com. Okay? This is all the strumming techniques that I like to teach. My Fiddle Tunes book that I talked about, okay, with John Nicholson. And these are just a few, 101 licks. There's a lot of books out there. This is one way you guys keep asking Lil Rev, how can we support you? Well, a lot of cool books on the market, Book 2, Easy Songs, and many others. And if you want to just strum along with some of the things I like to play on my CDs, my Lil Rev Strum Along as a book or a PDF from these various records. I got a lot of ukulele albums on my website. And the final thing I'll share with you tonight is not only thanking you for joining me. We had about 70, 80 people tonight. These turnouts have been great. I'm with you to the end of May. You can count on this, okay? Whatever is happening in your area, I will be here on Facebook until the end of May, and then we'll see where things are at, okay? Be healthy, be smart, okay? And take good care of yourself. Join me on my Facebook page this Saturday for my Original Songs concert at 7 p.m. My daughter Marielle has been writing some great songs, and she's going to do one or two as a special guest. That's 7 o'clock this Saturday. I got another harmonica show coming up. And on May 2nd, the Mini Uke Fest. Look on my Facebook page. Craig Chi and Sarah Mazel have got a great Uke Fest coming up. I'm going to be a part of that. Lots going on. And lastly, I will be teaching Pendulum Stroke on Thursday. And this is where I'm going to teach you to swing the ukulele outwards like this while using your hand to do a tick-tock like the grandfather's clock. And we'll be learning the grandfather's clock. This is a showpiece worthy of Grand Ole Opry and vaudeville show fame. It's a showstopper. I'm going to teach you how to play it with the pendulum stroke as a vaudeville trick. It'll bring down the house wherever you're at. Okay, it's an easy song to play, easy chords, and I'll teach you how to do this classic vaudeville stroke, pendulum stroke. And now we've got Boogie Woogie and Blues if you want to learn how to. We'll do that. I'll teach you the rock and blues strum. We got that class coming up. And finally, the ukulele flip and the ukulele shake. So there's all kind of cool vaudeville Roy Smack type trick classes coming up and all kinds of great stuff through May. We'll have a flyer soon, and I went about 5 minutes over tonight. It was so nice to be with all of you. And I look forward to doing this again. Thank you all so much. And again, please take good care of yourself. Look out for your neighbors, and don't be foolish. Okay, make sure that you guys are safe and sound. Okay, I want to play ukulele with you in person. Okay, love you like a ukulele. Practice, practice, practice.